Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter of one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you are interested to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. If you're looking for a way to support me, that is my Patreon. Today we are doing chapter 31 of A Familiar Death. Trembor opened an eye and searched for the time. His gaze settled on the side table, but the clock wasn't there. Why wasn't right? Marlot's house had been closer. Even though he slept here a few times a week now, he still wasn't used to the clock being on his wolf side of the bed. He grabbed his pad and checked the time. A few minutes to go. He was putting it back when he noticed the family lock wasn't on. He didn't remember taking it off. He must have done it by reflex when they'd gotten here. He thought about putting it back on. He could justify it by telling himself the case wasn't done with, even if they were home, but he didn't. He missed hearing his family's voice in the morning. He eased himself out of bed, careful not to jostle Marlot, and took himself and his pad to the bathroom. It vibrated as he closed the door. "Hello, Palinox," he answered, keeping his voice low. "You're there," the cub answered, then lowered his voice too. "Why are you whispering?" "Marlot is still sleeping." "Oh, why aren't you sleeping with him, then?" "Because I'm awake. I woke up a few minutes ago." "Oh, I didn't beat the alarm," his nephew said, his voice filled with disappointment. "It hasn't sounded yet. I just woke up early." "You had enough sleep?" "Yes, I did. You have a good day?" "You have a good day?" "I will." His nephew ended the call. He put the pad on the counter and considered going to get his earpiece, which was in his jacket, but that was on the chair next to the bed, or maybe the floor. He'd been exhausted when it arrived, and he couldn't remember where it had ended up. Moving around the bedroom might wake his wolf. He'd have to groom one-handed. He grabbed the brush and left the brush he'd left here when they decided to split their time between both houses, and started on his mane just as his pad buzzed. "Have you washed your ears?" Dara asked before he could even greet her. Trembor smiled. Isa decided that she was too old to bother everyone with their grooming, so Dara I'd taken over. But the youngest of his niece kept changing her mind as to what was important from one week to the next. "Not yet," he replied. "I'm brushing my mane." "I'm happy I won't get one. It's too much work," she stated. "You better clean your ears so they don't get full of icky stuff. If it does, a doctor will have to go in and dig it out." "I'll be sure to do that. Don't worry." "Okay, bye." As soon as she disconnected, the pad buzzed again. "Hello?" he said when the other side didn't say anything. "Hey." The voice was male, but too old to be one of his usual morning caller. He checked the pad's display. "Alex, is everything all right?" "Yeah, I guess." Trevor smiled as he could hear the shrug in his nephew's voice that had become something of a trademark for him. "Palinox called and said you were answering today." Trevor waited for a few seconds in case Alex wanted to add something. "I'm back in the city for the day." Uncle, am I supposed to feel this weird when I'm around females?" "What do you mean?" He stopped brushing to focus on his nephew's situation. "I don't know. My insides feel all weird, like they're twisting around when I'm close to this female at the academy." "Is she a lioness? Around your age?" "I guess." "It's your first heat. It's getting close to that time." Alex didn't say anything. "What's wrong?" "I thought I'd be feeling that for a male, not a female." "It isn't how it works. Your first heat means your body's ready to make cubs, so you're becoming sensitive to female scent. That tells you she's ready to." "But I like males." "That won't change. The first time is a bit out of your control because it's new. Afterward, you'll go back to preferring males if that's what you want. What did your father say about it?" "I haven't told him," Alex hurried to say. "Why not?" His nephew sighed. I don't want him to think I don't know what I want. I already told him I wanted males. He's going to think I'm weird. No, he won't. Your father saw me go through the same thing. One moment all I could talk about were the males in my class. The next I was drooling over this female, following her everywhere. Once the heat passed, I didn't give female a second glance again. Is there a way to stop it? I don't even like her. You can't stop it, Heralix, but it doesn't have to be her. There are other lioness at the academy who are ready. Get to know one of them. Maybe you can talk to one of the academy medic. I guess. His nephew was silent for a time, then sighed. I better let you go, he said, and disconnected before Tubbs, Trembor could say anything. He thought about calling his nephew back, but there was nothing more he could say. He remembered his own confusion at what had happened. He had already discovered other male's body when his heat had hit, so it had never occurred to him that he'd do anything with a female, let alone have sex with one. He wondered why it was that after all these years, cubs were still left to go through it on their own. There should be a class on it. Well, maybe not a class. The first heat barely lasted a few weeks, unless someone pushed himself to continue, but it should be covered. At the very least, there should be a way for them to find a compatible partner to experience it with. He should bring the subject up. He should bring the subject up to Marlot. He was enough of a deckhead that he would enjoy the challenge of creating such a program. As he brushed his mane, then his body, Gansir, Muriel, and Nerek called him. None of them had anything urgent to say. They found out his pad had been unlocked and wanted to talk. He listened to them, smiled at their exploit, complimented them on their accomplishment, and simply enjoyed hearing their voice. Trember brushed his teeth and double-checked to make sure his ears were clean before leaving the bathroom. Marlot was seated on the bed and smiled at him as he looked him over. Trember joined him, placing an arm around his shoulder. Is it safe? The wolf asked, indicating the pad. It is. They're having breakfast by now. Then they have to get ready for their day. Only Dara and Nerek are too young to go to the academy, but they'll be going to a care center for the day. You could see Marlot trying to place the names. Dara's the one of Bethel and Ufen's daughter. Marlot nodded. Ufen is the one with the rings in his fur, right? Yes, his grandfather was a panther. Then I must have met Bethel at the family dinner, but I can't place her. You have too many siblings, not to mention their mates and cubs, for me to keep any of them straight. Trevor kissed the top of his head. Don't worry about it. You'll manage it in time. Nerix is Ellen and Jures's son. Oh, right. He visited you at the hospital with your parents. Well, your mother and father, his sister, his sister and yours, Juris, were there too. That's him. He wanted my pad number. Yeah, Tremor. I'm happy you stopped me from giving it to them. Tremor smile. They can be overwhelming. Don't I know it? But you get along with them now. I think they're starting to like you more than me. Only because they're making plans to eat me. Trevor tilted. I swear, I caught two of them making plans to start a fire without any of you noticing, so they could roast me over it. Trevor chuckled. They're not that bad. All right, they aren't, Miss Wolf relented. But I don't understand how you can just talk to them like that every morning. I still have nightmares about it. You were just taken by surprise. If you want, I'll ease you into it. Talk to only one or two of them each morning. You'll see it's nice. So you claim, Marlot said, not believing him. I do. He got out of bed. I'll go eat up some meat. Should be doing that. Marlot protested. You need to give your leg a rest. He tried to get up, but Tremor pushed him back down. It's just sprained, and I only have a few scratches otherwise. You have stitches. Stay in bed, and I'll be back with food. He eyed his wolf. Behave, and I will reward you. I'm not sure if my side will be able to stand it. Tremor smiled. I'll be gentle. And this concludes chapter 31 of A Familiar Death. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read the story as well as the others in the series, They are available at all major retailer. If you want another way to support me, that's on my Patreon, where you can also get access to just about everything I've written. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes. And with that, I shall wish you a good day.